Welcome back.
Hi, thanks for watching CapriCast. He's Matt, I'm Nat, and let's get started.
Okay, Retribution, the second episode of this half of the season, and oh my god, it should have been the first.
Yeah, This episode was worth waiting for. We were both just like, oh my gosh. You know, whoever planned these stories out was way off on pacing the season breaks. Seriously.
Oh my god. Although I must admit, one little issue I had with this episode as a whole, in BSG, those timestamps, you knew there was going to be something crucial, and every second was going to count. But in space, that makes sense. You don't have anything else to judge time by.
But they're not really necessary when you've got, you know, sunrise and sunset to set the time.
Exactly. What a waste of timestamps. I was paying attention to each little timestamp, hoping that there'd be a few minutes in between. There was hours. Anyway.
Maybe you need a second viewing or a third viewing. Maybe
I
there's something
really don't
more.
think it'll matter. I mean,
Anyway.
and aside from the fact that Caprica has some amazing up-to-the-minute news breaks.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know, that's crazy.
Aside from that, let's get into where the real meat was, because the Adamas didn't do much.
Man, a massively bearded Dr. Greystone is getting nasty, and I like it.
Just like Baltar, the beard gets longer, the character gets deeper. It's great. Blackmail is good for the soul.
Apparently. And you know what? That was a hell of a wake-up call in the car when he's there and that woman's banging on the window. What kind of man are you?
That was amazing. Like, the fact that he's right. He has been to all of these people's important moments in their lives. They're his friends.
I can't believe when he sold out that one guy where the Adamas couldn't find anything on him.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's sleeping with his sister-in-law.
So good. So good. I really enjoyed that. Although, I've got to say, the fact that all of these people sold his ass up the river to get Vergis in there means there's really no likable person on this show. There are no good people.
No, everyone is morally gray.
Yes.
And speaking of which, we have Amanda. And with, you know, there was an interesting scene there where Amanda's in the hospital and it's showing the exposition that we were missing from last week, really.
Yes, absolutely. It seems like she's going to maybe stop moping and whining and she's going to start doing something interesting.
Grabbing her life by the balls.
I really liked her in this episode.
Yeah.
Like, she really turned a page. She sort of noticed what the hell was going on in her life. But I've got to say, splitting the season really, really hurt the punch. In that point where Amanda was kind of having that revelation.
Thinking back to all the different discussions she's had.
11 hours of setup. Just, it's tough to remember it.
Unless you have a memory like this guy.
Well, when it's been a year and a half, like, through it, I saw Nat scratching her head at certain points, and it's like, oh no, that happened. That was
like
episode 3. That was episode 4. Oh, that 6. Yeah. But again, this, like, very little of this even happened before the summer. All of this is set up as far back as the Caprica pilot. Like, this is a lot to remember.
Speaking of people coming back, the detective is back. And again, memory, like I said, I don't remember what I thought of him before, but he was awesome here.
And you know what, I've got to say, for a few episodes last season, I guess we can say, as this was starting up, I thought Caprica was maybe going to be like a cop crime drama before we really knew what we were watching.
Exactly.
And his story just fell by the wayside. He stopped mattering, but in this episode, he was a great character. And it's too common that these characters just disappear.
I know, but he was pretty fleshed out. It got into a little more of who he was, what he was looking for, his motivations as to what he was doing.
You learn about his family life a little bit.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I feel like Caprica just has too many spinning plates.
Yeah.
Where was Tamara? Where was Zoe in this episode?
Yeah, you know, as if the 12 colonies isn't big enough, they also have to invent V-World and New Cap City.
More places to lose people. There's just so much going on. We can lose characters for episodes at a time.
So different from BSG, let's just say that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was a time in BSG when we weren't even on the Cylon ships. We were only in a 40,000-person tiny ragtag fleet, and now we're across 12 colonies, imaginary worlds. There's just so much going on, it's hard to keep track.
Right off the top of the episode, having Pan saying that Barnabas would kill Lacey for calling off the bombing, yeah, that totally came out of nowhere.
I didn't get an impression that he was anywhere near willing to kill her over anything because of calling off a bombing. Like,
I don't know. We thought the episode started a little slow. Another one of those potentially lame setups for an unmotivated tension moment.
Yeah, it didn't really seem like that needed to be there. And then Lacey still having the bag was more tension resulting in nothing exploding.
Yeah, I can't believe she didn't. When everything was beeping, I thought they were going to open the window, throw the bag out so that, you know, there'd be a couple explosions instead of the one airport one, but
honestly,
why would they not go through?
I know there are people who are watching this saying, hey, these people only want to see things explode. It's not that that's all we want to see.
No,
it's
not
that
at all.
the people who are making this show are teasing us with things that blow up, and then they never do. So it's not that This is a basic storytelling technique. You do not show the gun in the first act if you are not going to shoot it in the third. It has nothing to do with the basic need we have for basic storytelling.
No, if we're watching the
it's
show
bad
or BSG,
storytelling. That's what it comes down to. You
anyway.
just don't tease an audience like that. It's bad form.
Oh my gosh. But on the topic of STO, Clarice really got down to business on this episode.
She did, and there was the return of this shadowy STO figure in the confessional.
With the weird voice, so you can't really recognize who or what it is.
And so, if he's not one of the religious leaders like Saint Nick from Gemini, who is this guy? I don't get it. This better not be a Star Trek Enterprise. We don't know who he is either until the end of the show. Maybe we'll make something up as we go along. This better be a really good idea. If this isn't a character we already know in the show, I'm going to be disappointed. Just going out on that one.
Maybe it's the mother.
Oh, God. That would be, at least should be a little more interesting. Okay. The dead Barnabas.
Wow. You know what? I'm impressed. Bravo with all the killing in this episode. Again, not that we need the blood, but I'm impressed that they really got through characters. Barnabas, you know what? He's dead. And it's not a big deal because he was kind of a terrible terrorist.
Oh, my God. Try to kill Clarice? Fail. Try to bomb a spaceport? Fail. The guy just is a really ineffectual terrorist. I'm glad he's kind of gone.
Yeah.
Marsters, you know what? Great geek casting.
He was so excited about it.
But his character was just a lame distraction. He was in, he was out, he did nothing of any interest. All right, episode 112, Things We Lock Away. Now, Greystone has shaved his beard, and he's gotten the board against Vergis, which is neat. Turns out Toron gangsters don't believe in just business.
I can't believe that scene was good. I cannot wait to see it.
That was so much more intense than the one with frigging ninjas and Zoe.
Oh my gosh.
But, it looks like the Deadwalkers get reunited as ninjas in New Cap City.
Actually, please, can we briefly talk about that? Deadwalkers or Deathwalkers? Because we've seen both for some reason.
So much. It's like nobody pays attention to what Alessandra is saying. Zoe keeps messing up the emphasis on the word Deadwalker. Is it Deadwalker? Deathwalker? It's like, is no one watching continuity? Is no one saying, cut, say that again? Like, watch the takes, watch the dailies.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'd be curious to find out what they're actually supposed to be called, or whether it's not a proper noun at all.
Maybe they're making it up as they go along and no one knows.
But anyway, this time we saw a bit of Tamara, which is awesome. She seems to be at the head of a gang.
Yeah.
And knows Zoe blew the train and killed her mom.
So she's obviously been doing some research, I suppose. Now, we don't really know where Zoe's consciousness is based anymore. I mean, maybe U-87 is still alive in there and she's still logged in through V-World wirelessly, or maybe Zoe copied herself somewhere else to another piece of hardware. Maybe this is a duplicate. I don't know how this is working.
And would it be the same Zoe? Because Zoe seems to be able to differentiate herself.
Yeah, she knows original Zoe versus her.
Is this a third Zoe if it's another copy?
It'll be interesting. Well, hopefully we'll be getting some answers to things like this when we get into Things We Lock Away next week.
Yeah, things are looking good.